Right, so you and I have something to discuss today, and that is why I use a pen tablet for my editing work and music production. This is the Wacom Intous Pro PTH 660, and although I've done a few videos in the past on working with a Wacom tablet or a tablet for music production and editing work, I got a lot of questions on the tablet here in my previous video, so I think it's time we lift this again and talk about the benefits of working with a Wacom tablet instead of that hideous mouse. Now, the first reason and the main reason why I use a Wacom tablet is the ergonomic perspective, because we have a resting position with the arms like this, and if you're working with a mouse, you need to stretch out your arm like this, and that will ultimately put a strain on your neck, your shoulder, and also on your elbow. And ultimately, if you work for many years like I've done, you end up with a tennis elbow, and you start to have like itchings, and it hurts in the elbow, and that also spreads out to the hands and fingers. And moving over to the tablet and working in this closed position with a pen like this, and you will really feel that the body lightens up and you feel more relaxed. At least that was what happened to me when I started working with a Wacom tablet. Of course, in the beginning it's gonna be a frustration and maybe feel a little bit awkward to move around with a mouse pointer with a pen like this. Then again, like with everything, like practicing some kind of instrument, you get the hang of it after a while, and it starts to get natural and feel more natural. Right, so let's talk about the experience of working with the Wacom tablet. Now, you don't need to touch with the pen on the surface to move the mouse pointer. You can just hover just a little bit above the surface and move the pen like this, and you can move the mouse pointer. Then if you want to perform a left click, you just push down on the surface and you make a left click. The Wacom pen I'm using is called the Pro Pen 2, and you have a few different buttons here. Of course, you have the left click with the tip here, and that's also push sensitive. It has a very deep sensitivity. If you have a little bit of shaking hands like I do, you're gonna see that when you try to draw something on the computer, because it's a really sensitive tip here. But it's also adjustable in the software that comes with the Wacom Pro. Then you have some other buttons here, which I've set to right click and middle click, and you have an eraser on the top here, which I usually don't use. Maybe when I'm painting in Affinity Design or something I might use the eraser, but for music production I rarely use this eraser button. Right, so that's a little bit regarding the Pro Pen 2 that comes with the Wacom Intous Pro. Now, the second reason why I use a Wacom Intous Pro specifically is that it's touch sensitive, and that you can also perform gestures like you would do on any laptop touch surface. So with the touch support on the Wacom Intous Pro, we can move around like this, like we would do by hovering with a pen. And we can also do pinching gestures to zoom in. And a really nice thing in Bitwig Studio here is that if we hover above, say, bar 97 here, and we make that pinch, it's going to zoom in on that specific bar, which is a really nice thing. So if I quickly want to zoom in at bar 49, which is the beginning of the chorus, I can just pinch at bar 49. So that's a really nice thing that I use a lot. The second gesture that I do is the two-finger gesture, and with two fingers you can scroll around your projects. So we can use the pinch to zoom in and out, and then use the two-finger option to scroll around and navigate around your project. So the touch support on the Wacom Intous Pro in combination with the pen is really intuitive and feels really great to me. And as a man of many hats, I've been doing graphics design, programming, app development, and music production for many years. And when you're working with a mouse, as I mentioned, with the arm stretched out like this, it's going to hurt after a few years. And the salvation for me was to go for the Wacom Intous Pro and start working in a more natural position. Right, so to summarize, if you work in any type of editing, may it be video editing, music production and music editing, like in my case here, or graphics design, or basically any type of computer work, I can highly recommend to try out the Wacom Intous Pro or some other kind of tablet. But make sure to check the specifics of the tablet so it supports touch and gestures, because it's it's a really game changer, at least to me, for editing work. Right, so hopefully this can give you some inspiration and clarify why I'm using the Wacom Intous Pro for my music production, editing, and yeah, in all my videos basically. Now the only downside I've found of using a Wacom tablet is that it uses a little bit more desk estate compared to using a mouse. That said, the benefits obviously outweighs the bad sides. And that's also one of the reasons why I have one of these smaller keypads in front of me here when I'm doing these videos. A third benefit is that when I'm doing these videos for you, you don't have to hear those annoying mouse clicks because as you can hear, there's not much clickiness when I'm using this Pen Pro with the Wacom. So that's also a big win-win for you. Right, so I hope that clarifies why I'm using a Wacom Intous Pro for my work and music production. Now you can let me know in the comments what kind of tools you use in your studio to lighten up your work and get a better ergonomic workplace. If you're new to my channel, you know what to do. Subscribe, hit a like, and write some nice feedback in the comments. See you in the next one. Have a nice weekend. Bye!